Welcome to Game Night Tonight for this episode. This one was inspired by a comment that was left on the unboxing of my expansion Charms and Potions for the Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle game. Now, they asked me, how do I fit all the expansions and the base game into the base game box? So this episode, that's what we're going to be doing, is we're going to be delving into how I have personally put it all into the box to fit everything and all of its components and cards into this box. So here we go. I have all three expansions, so if you're like me, you like to consolidate it down. Don't like all the boxes because, I mean, it can get crazy if you have a lot of expansions for different games. To fit everything into one, you can do that easily. That way you don't have so many boxes just taking up all that space. So as you see here, this is everything from those three games. So the base game, you got the monster box of monsters and the Charms and Potions expansion. And I'm going to show you how I fit it all in here. Now, originally in the Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle box, there's a box for each game and all the cards that come with it. So it's like game 1, game 2, all the way through 7. You have little cardboard boxes that they come in. You can't use those. Because there's no way to fit everything into the box if you use those, because also in the monster box of monsters, they have those cardboard boxes as well. So you have to ditch the boxes, but I love my games, so I protect the cards with card sleeves. So every single one of my cards is sleeved. So if you look, you can see that I've sleeved it. Even the big oversized cards as well as all of the normal cards all have sleeves on them. So the only thing that's not sleeved obviously are going to be the dividers that come with the game. So ultimately, this is kind of how I do it. You have the main box here with the insert that's already there, right? So what I usually do is I keep all the characters. I have everything like laid out how I'm going to kind of put it in. But ultimately, it's like you have all the different characters. So first of all, we have Ginny, right? And she has her one character card. And then I keep them in their little plastic sleeves so that they keep separated. It makes it a little easier. But I put each of those in. Well, I'm going to turn it this way. So I put them in the little container here. So go down through here. We got Luna's. So we're going to have Luna's and her character card, her cards, right? Same deal. Slide in here because those are the expansion ones, the expansion players. Now you have a little bit more with the base players because you have their starter deck, right? But then you have 4 of their things throughout each of the, you have like game 1, Hermione, you got game 3 Hermione, and then game 7, and then you also have the box 1 from the monster box of monsters. So you got to keep all those together. So keep everything as far as the characters go together here. And then you got Ron right here. He's got the same, got the 4 different cards for his character throughout the game, and then his starter deck. You put all those guys in here. And then you got Harry Potter, his stuff, right? He's got his 4 and his starter deck all right here. And then last but not least, as far as the characters go, you got Neville Longbottom, his 4 character cards right there, and then his starter deck, right? So now we've got all the characters in here. The last thing that I do in the little spot, because there's still a little bit room, you could probably finagle a little bit more in there. So what I do is I use the Hogwarts cards, which are like the turn order and everything like that. Use those, put those in here. And then last but not least, this is from the Charms and Potions expansion. You got the little the little trackers here. So you have 3 of those, and all 3 of those can fit right in here. It makes it a little tight fit, especially if you have everything sleeved like I do, but everything fits right in there. Perfect. Okay. Now moving on to the next section right here on the left, I usually do my Patronus cards. So all your Patronus cards here for pack 1. And then you got box 3, you got all the, so there you go. You got your Patronus cards, right? Gonna put those in here, the back. Then I do my detention cards. So all of the detention cards, there's a pretty good stack there, but those go in next. Next are my encounter cards. Now, to keep my game all separated and like so I know what's what in the expansion, I mean, obviously it says it on the cards, but what I like to do is, because it says pack 1 through pack 4, right? I keep those separated, but then I flip them so that they're face down on the box 1 through box 4 of the monster box of monsters expansion cards right there. So you have the encounter cards face down so that you know where they start, where they begin, all that stuff. So there's those right there. I'm gonna toss those right there. And then the next is the potion cards, which are strictly just from the Charms and Potions expansion. So it's not, you don't have to do any flipping or anything like that on those ones. But I just take that and put those in next. Then I've got over here, I've got the creature cards, right? So it's all the creature cards from the Monster Box of Monsters all the way 4, and put that with their divider right here next. And then I've got the location cards, right? So I got location cards, and this is for like all the locations. So this is for, we're starting with the packs from the Charms and Potions. Those go through here. Then, like I did before, I flip them so that I know which ones are for which. So I flip them, and then these ones are all the box 1 through box 4 of the Monster Box of Monsters, and then game 1 through 7 of the base game. Flipped all those locations on top, and the pack 1 through 4 they're double-sided. So I usually put them on the back so that they don't mix it up right there. So you go there, you got your location cards that go in there, and obviously there's still a little bit more room in here. So depending on like where you put it and everything, you can still fit all of the box 1 through 4 from the Monster Box of Monsters expansion in here. So there's all the cards that go for box 1, right? I'm going to make sure that they're facing the right way this time. Then box 2, all of the cards that pertain to it. Gonna put those in next. Box 3, right? All of its cards. Gonna put those in there. And last but not least, on the left side, we have box 4 from the same one. And then also it comes with Lord Voldemort, the villain, right there. So he's gonna be in there for box 4 as well. Because you could throw him in with all the villains later, but I keep him with that particular box. So there you have it for the left side. I'm done with the left side. Let's go ahead and take all these tokens and stuff. So you got your little zappy zaps, your spells, whatever you want to call them. We call them zappy zaps for some reason. It just kind of stuck, but put the zappy zaps there. You got all your coin tokens. Stick those in there. And then we got, these are all the heart tokens, all of the location lost tokens, the Death Eater tokens there, all the Horcrux stuff. You got the harp for the Fluffy and everything, or not Fluffy, whatever. Yeah, it is Fluffy. So you take all those pieces, those are the ones that are in there, stick those here to the side, and then I've got all the Charms and Potions, little ingredients and everything. Those are right there. Stick those in here as well, and then I've got all my dice back here. As far as the dice, you do all the colored ones up here, because this one was an additional dice that came with it, so I just kind of stick it here on the side. Okay, so those are all the sides there. Whew. Now we're getting to the big section here for what I do. So typically what I'll do is I'll start from the back here and move that way. Obviously, it's dependent on how you want to lay it out, but this is obviously what I do, what I've chosen to do. But I'm going to start over here with our proficiency cards. So these proficiency cards are, from the base game, the different things that help you from game 6 on to help you in those. So I'm going to take that, put that at the very back here. Next will be our, let's grab these. These are the smaller cards, but these are the game 7 Horcrux cards that happen, right? So you have to defeat all the Horcruxes before you can defeat Voldemort himself. So put that in next. I do my Dark Arts cards, and again, this is for the three different individual games or expansions. You got the pack 1 through 4 right there. All those Dark Arts cards, I've got it flipped for the Dark Arts cards for the Monster Box of Monsters, and then all the base game ones, 1 through 7, right? So I flip them on top of each other so that I don't get them confused. Flip them opposite way. Put in the villain cards. Oh, the Dark Arts cards right there. Boom. It's probably going to slip a little bit, but then I move on to the villain cards, and I've done the same exact thing. You got pack 1 through pack 4 right there of all the villains you're going to encounter in the Charms and Potions, and then everything else here is pretty much the same, because the only 2 that came with the Monster Box of Monsters was game 2 Basilisk and game 3 Dementor, which they just basically said instead of just villain, it's a villain dash creature. So it's a villain creature, right? So you just replace those with the base game ones. They're a stand-in. So really you don't technically need the base game ones if you have the expansion. However, I still hold on to both. So I just keep those in the same, and then I flip those on top of here so that they're always facing the wrong, well, not the wrong way, the different way than the other expansion or the other base game. Slide those in here. So I got all my villain cards right there. And then we get into the base game cards, right? So we have game 7 card. You've got Godric Gryffindor's sword right there. We're going to take that, slide that in first. So game 7, moving down the line, game 6, all game 6 cards, because it's, man, wow. Game 6 cards right here so that you can keep them all separated so that you can continue playing the game. It's basically laying it out, but without the boxes. You got your game 5 cards, right? All of your game 5 cards up here at the top. But you take each of them and go down the line just like it came in those little individual boxes, but the boxes are just too big to fit in here with everything else. Then I got, game 4. In my game 4 cards here, I've got the base game 4 cards, but then I keep in the sleeve the pack 4 cards here. So these are from the Charms and Potions. So I keep those together and then have them separated by the little baggie that it comes with. But then you do the pack 4 there. Slide these guys in here, and it'll kind of go down the line from there, because in the pack 3 games, it's the exact same thing. They came with their sleeves, so pack 3 cards right there will be in with the game 3 cards as well. So keep all those together so that it's kind of separated, but it works. It works. You just kind of finagle it however you need to. But game 2 cards, you got all the base game 2 cards right here. Boom, right there. And then you've got your pack 2 cards separated in this. So there's those ones. And then last but not least, as far as the cards go, because we're running out of room anyway, are the game 1 cards. So we have game 1 cards, the divider with the pack 1 cards, which is a bigger stack usually, and then the game 1 cards, which is a pretty big stack as well. But those are the last thing that go in the big area. That way we can fit all the cards. And mind you, these are all sleeved. If you don't sleeve your cards, if you don't care to sleeve your cards or anything, then it's not that big of a deal, because they will fit a lot better. It gets just a little snug here for me because I have everything sleeved. So it does get a little thicker, a little bit more room is taken up. Okay, so now that's all the cards, all the pieces over here, right? Now we have, of course, we had 4 boards, but now with the expansion, with Ginny being a 5th permanent character, or Luna, however you would go about it, originally the 4 would go over here, right? So I'm going to still do the 4, but I need to keep this one over here so that it covers up the tokens, so that these little things from the Charms and Potions don't fall down into this little crack here, right? So I put that, cover it up, and then I'm going to take 4 of these, put them here in the middle, and then I do 3 and 3. So 3 and 3 so that it stays as level as possible right there. Then of course you have your game board that I'm going to put right here on top of that. Then last but not least, I have the main base game right there. The instructions and the booklets and everything are in there. So got all the booklets already stacked in there. I do the same thing for each of the expansions. You have their little pack things already in the booklet. They fit there, and there's their booklets, and that is everything. And then we put on the top here. There you go. And there you have it. That's how you fit everything into the box of Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, the base box with the expansion, the monster box of monsters, as well as the Charms and Potions expansion. All its components, cards, everything smashed into this box. Again, it is a little oversized, but not much. It sticks up just a little bit, but honestly, way better than having 2 additional stacks on top of that, taking up a lot more room on your game shelf. So there you have it. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe down below so that you can catch any future videos that we do, as well as comment below on any games with their expansions that you would like to see how I put them into the base box to save room on my shelf. And I'll do future videos for those as well. But we will catch you then again next time on Game Night Tonight.